Welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers with the Starter Girls. I am Jennifer Loading.
And I'm Brianna Dreles, and we are talking to the achievers, creators, magic makers, and the dreamers.
These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. Today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills, photographer of Glad Models Agency. If you are here in the Dallas or surrounding area and looking for some photography work, check out Walt Mills. You can learn more about him and his work at photosbywalt.com. All right, we are super excited, I think, to welcome our guest today.
That's right.
Yes, and we were just getting a little background information before we started here, so we're going to have her chime in here in a few minutes. But I do want to tell our listeners, of course, about Olga. Olga Wharton Newman is the owner of DFW Pet Sitting Services. She says, I was crazy about four-legged babies. When it comes to their well-being, I'm a mama bear who will make sure they are safe, happy, and healthy. I knew I took good care of them, but what happened if I needed to stay late at work or travel? Traditional kenneling was not acceptable to me. That's when I started thinking about creating a reliable pet sitting service for my own fur kids. Olga says it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to build a company that provides reliable pet sitting service. I couldn't have done it alone. I'm grateful beyond words for all the people who have contributed to our amazing business. My pet sitting company grew from one-person operation to a business with 200 plus employees. We service most zip codes in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Our growth has been fueled by the excellent pet care services that we provide. So welcome to the show, Olga. We are super excited to have you here today.
Absolutely.
Thank
That
you.
is so fantastic.
I was trying to get all that out today, and I'm like,
Wow.
pets. I love pets.
I know.
Olga does too, apparently. So we're happy to have you
Yes.
here, Olga.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, so we want to open this up because obviously, our listeners are going to get that this is a pet sitting service, but I want you to talk a little bit, walk us back how this came about for you.
Sure. Just like you said, when I hired a pet sitter, I had a light bulb in my head. I was like, what a great service, what a great concept. And when I came back from my trip, my pets looked like I never left. They were happy, they were not stressed out. Everything was great. So I thought I wanted to do that too. I thought I love animals, and what a great way to just spend your time and make a living is spend your time with animals. I started walking dogs on my own, and then my clients were telling other people, and my client base grew. I couldn't handle all the dog walks on my own. So I started hiring employees. Now I have 200. My business is almost 20 years old. It's 19 years this year. So it took time. It took a lot of learning, a lot of meeting people and figuring things out, figuring out the business processes, hiring practices, and just figuring out how do I run it when it's not just me doing dog walks anymore. That was probably the biggest challenge. And here we are. We've always grown slowly, organically, kind of one client at a time, one pet sitter at a time. And that allowed us to make changes quickly if something was not working. Now we cover, like you said, most areas of DFW Metroplex, and we have amazing people. Some of the people that work for me have been with me for 15, 16, 17 years. Some of my clients have been with me for 15, 17 years. It's kind of been crazy sometimes to reflect on those numbers. But here we are taking care of your dogs, cats, birds, rabbits, anybody who is friendly, doesn't bite, doesn't try to like attack the pet sitter. We'll take care of any pet. We don't discriminate breeds, sizes, personalities. We love them all.
That's
This is
amazing.
awesome.
I love this. And I literally, maybe 2 weeks ago, went to visit a kennel, or what do you call it? Like a boarding place. And they were so nice. And I could tell that they were trying to create a different environment, a really nice environment for the pets. But to me, I still couldn't do it. I still couldn't put my dog in a like shower, like you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it was hard for me. So I ended up, saying no. I'm so glad you have this service, because I'm sure there's so many people listening that are thinking, gosh, yeah, I mean, I don't want to board my dog either.
No, and I'm a client, so I've used them for many, many years. And I think, I've had maybe 4 different sitters. I love that they send the same people. So they have your key on file and they have your records on file. So basically I just email in and say, hey, these are the dates we're leaving. I need a sitter. And they send the same gal out. And I know like one time we even had a situation where something had happened to one of the gals and they quickly and immediately replaced her. Like they had somebody else show up and take care. It was like, I got a message and said, hey, something happened to so-and-so. I'm showing up to take care of your pets. No worries. We got it covered. So they're very good about taking care of things and following up. And Olga sends out the reminders. I get the little text messages the day before that said, we're looking forward to taking care of your fur babies, which I love. She knows what I'm talking about. The little voice messages that go out. I love them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
we
terrific.
we overconfirm everything. We
Yeah.
cannot miss a visit. This is one of those industries where you cannot make a mistake, because if the pets are left unattended, especially if they need medication, food, water, and nobody comes, you can't make that mistake. So we have confirmations and then we reconfirm again, and we want to make sure everything is lined up. And having 200 employees also helps that if something happens to your pet sitter, we always have somebody will be available to step in and jump in and take care of your babies. We don't like sending people that you don't know. We usually assign a
Right.
person and this person takes care of you every time. But if situation happens, we're all humans, people get sick, people have emergencies, something happens, we always have somebody else. Your pets will never be alone. Your pets will never be left alone unattended.
So great. Now, okay, you said you've been in San Diego for some time now. Have you considered taking your business into the Southern California market?
I thought about that, but I mean, first of all, we have different state laws, and Texas business climate is a lot better than California business climate for small companies. So, and also just focusing on one thing instead of spreading myself too thin. I just kind of like, I don't want to be like that big where I cover half a country. I mean, some people have different goals and ambitions. My ambition is just to stay in one area, to do what I do well and focus on quality, and just do that. If someday, maybe if I had a partner or a franchise, I may consider that. But as far as running a company, I'd rather just keep it manageable, where I can manage and I can vouch for every single pet sitting visit that happens. If it's
Sure.
too much, you can't really handle something that's too big.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Understood.
I love that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely understand that. Olga, I want to ask you a question, obviously because you've grown, obviously it takes time to get to this, but you've grown from you starting this business out to now having these 200 employees, which I think is just incredible in a pet sitting service.
It's
I just think this
mind-blowing.
is amazing. And I did not even know this about this company until today, till I was looking on her site to pull all her stats. I didn't know she had this many employees. So I'm blown away by this, but I want to know, because our listeners are going to want to know, what was the most challenging thing for you as you've been building this business over the years?
I think trusting people has been the biggest hurdle for me to overcome in the beginning, when I was letting go of all those keys that I was personally taking care of those clients, and I had to trust that somebody else will do a good job working for my company. It was probably the hardest part. And my second stage of growth was when I actually had to let somebody else run the scheduling part and talking to my clients and handling the escalated issues, or greeting and welcoming new customers, or hiring pet sitters. Just trusting that somebody else will care was the biggest challenge for me personally to overcome. And I have actually learned in the last 20 years of doing this business is that once you let go of that of that fear that you can't trust somebody else, everything changes. I mean, and I cannot say that it just miraculously people were just turning amazing, but the moment people understand you trust them, and they're also being entrusted with the care of pets. When you're a pet sitter and you're applying for a pet sitting job, you already love animals. Somebody who doesn't love animals is not going to apply for this job. And when somebody doesn't care about animals, you can see it from the first 2 or 3 visits they do it. They just don't care. They cut their visits short. They don't follow instructions. They don't play with pets. I mean, now people have cameras, people have timers on their locks, people also know their pets. If they come home and the pets are not happy or have accidents, people know that the pets were not taken care of. So the small percentage of those people kind of get weeded out very fast. So here I am left with 200 pet sitters who care about animals, who will do anything to make sure that those animals are not neglected and not left alone and not unhappy. We want to make sure they're happy, they're healthy, they don't have accidents, they get their food, they get always water. So we have those people who care about the animals. So this is the first thing that I have really going for me as a business owner. I'm working with pet lovers. This is just a different breed of human beings. People who love animals are usually really good people. And second, when the people overall understand that you're not micromanaging them, you're not breathing down their neck, you're not checking on them, you're not expecting the worst out of them, they usually step up. And I mean, I do have software that manages the schedule, manages the confirmations. I've automated everything that can be automated by a robot. But that human touch that makes us feel like a small company is still there. And this is why you, Jennifer, didn't even know we're a big company. We have this very, very like the pet sitter who takes care of you. She is your person. She's the one who will send you the pictures and talk to you about the visits if there's something that, if she has any questions. We let her just do her thing. We leave her alone. But at the same time, if she needs a backup, we're there for her. If she needs a reminder that tomorrow your pet sitting is starting, we're there for her. We're there to remind her that you haven't checked out of the visits. Please make sure you check out and you don't forget that the visits are happening today. So we're there to just manage if somebody forgets or doesn't remember or things like that. But usually people who signed up to do pet sitting, they want to be there. They want to be there for their pets. And once I've realized that I'm actually working with great people, and I am so lucky to be in this industry of people who work with animals, a lot of things kind of got fixed on their own. Once I let go of the fear, once I've let go of the control, I was able to breathe and enjoy my company, enjoy people, enjoy what I do. And that was life changing, not just in business life, but also in personal life as well. You just need to let people shine their own beautiful light, and they always do. It's very seldom when they don't. And you just surround yourself with amazing people, and you try to keep them at all costs. You try to keep all the amazing people and do the right thing by them and by your clients.
That was
Yes.
good. I love that,
Yes.
Olga.
Thank you.
Well, here's the thing.
Things the animals
Wow.
teach you in your career.
Is that not the truth?
What you said earlier, how you've retained several or X amount of employees for the past 15, 16, 17 years or whatnot is a testament to you and your company, because to have the retention of your staff and your the people who work for you, you know, it's probably like a big family, first of all, but also it's so hard right now. So many people, that's probably, from what I've heard, it's their number one struggle is hiring and keeping good people, finding good people, keeping good people.
Yeah.
And so this is a really big problem right now that a lot of businesses are facing. So the fact that you have this going for you is so exciting.
Well, and I think she's implementing there's clearly some things she's done there. And I think the things that I was picking up on is really the freedom to allow people to, I would say, move about the cabin, the freedom for people to move without being micromanaged.
Yes.
But people do what you expect them to do. And the few that don't typically weed themselves out. They remove themselves eventually. And so when you give people freedom to move, but also have expectations, about how you're doing things, I think that's what creates that bond and that esprit de corps and wow, it's impressive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And
Thank you.
there was one other thing that you had said, Olga, that I'm trying to remember, but it really stood out. So maybe I'll remember that in a
I'll
moment.
come back in a few
Yeah.
minutes to you. We always do that, Olga. We start thinking while we're like processing all the information and like, oh, there's something good she said there. I just need to like write it down like right now. Like get it on the paper. We got a
Yeah,
pen.
happens to the best of us.
Yes, yes. I forgot what I was going to ask you. So, and I was looking at your notes, Olga, because you're originally from Russia. How long have you been in the States then? So, because you've been building your business for, you said 17 years?
20 years.
19 years
19
this
years.
year.
Okay, 19
Yes.
years. So, how long have
And
you been in the
before that,
States?
yeah, before that, I went to college and I had some corporate America experience for a few years as well. I would say
Okay.
about 25, 30 years in the
Okay.
States.
Yeah.
It's just at this age, you kind of like, once you count it to 10, after 10, everything is kind of a blur. It's
It
like
is.
most of my
Yeah.
adult life was here in this country. Um, I came here as a student in high school, exchange student in high school, and then I got a scholarship to go to university. I got my degree, and I've been here since pretty much 17, I would say. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have 2 degrees. Am I correct? You have two
Yeah.
different. What?
Well, I have 2 undergraduate degrees, one in business management, one in English,
Okay.
and second degree, I got MBA in entrepreneurship when I already had kids.
Wow. Learn something new every day. That's why we love this podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad I got to meet you today. I found out like so much stuff about her today. This is so much.
It's so great. So as you were growing, and I know you mentioned it was organic growth, slow and steady. I love that. For you, when you hit those moments where things were getting tough in the business, did you ever have a thought like, you know what, we got to shut this down, or I'm ready to throw the towel in? Or did you ever have moments like that inside your business? And if
I
so,
don't
what did
think
you do to
so.
push through?
I don't think so. I've always felt like even when I am a 75-year-old grandma, I'll still probably run this company, and I'll probably walk a couple dogs on the side when kids are off to college and
This
have
is
their own
so
lives,
great.
when I don't have to drive anybody to after school activities. But it's always kind of been like, I think getting my pet sitting company going has been my dream come true. It gave me the opportunity to be my own boss, to be creative. I'm very creative, and just to grow from one stage to another. It requires some growing pains and some extra work and blood, sweat, and tears sometimes, but it's always worth it at the end because I get to be my own boss. I don't have to answer to anybody, and I'm kind of stubborn and I'm opinionated and I'm vocal about opinions. So I know that it's good fit for me to be in this creative role of running this business, but also growing it and taking one challenge at a time as a challenge instead of a problem. Just looking at it like, this is a new lesson I need to learn. I need to figure out this Google algorithm, or I need to figure out these new laws about employment, or I need to figure out, like when I was changing from contractors to employees, that was a big step. Had to figure it out all myself. So I wouldn't change it for a world, because it's what makes my experiences what they are. And I enjoy working with people who love pets, and I enjoy working with clients who come up with different questions or situations with their pets, and my employees sometimes have personal situations, and it's so beautiful in its own way, and I can't imagine myself doing anything else.
So good. I was thinking about what she said earlier about how people that love pets are good people. And I was thinking, you know how often like dogs, like animals can sense people out? Like I always
They
think it's
can.
so funny how they know, like they just know, and
Yeah. Yeah, pets and kids, they
pet,
always know
pets
the
and
person from a bad
I feel
person.
like I have that weird sense too. Like
Spidey sense.
I can like when I get with people, I'm like, there's something fishy right here. I don't know about this one.
Uh-huh.
And pets, and you know what's so weird is I always joke because pets and kids always like me. Like people will be like, this kid or this dog does not like anybody, and then I'll go see somebody, and the dog is like, like in my back, like all over, or the kid. And they're like, that is so weird.
Yeah.
So I think you're
Yeah.
right about that, Olga. I think you're right about that. I wanted to ask you a question from the entrepreneur standpoint, because obviously, a lot of the people that are listening to this are people that are in business or they're kind of starting out or that kind of thing. For somebody who's maybe looking to start a business, I don't know if it's a pet sitting service. Obviously, you've got this booming, out here in the Dallas area, but any kind of business starting out, what kind of advice would you lend them as a new entrepreneur?
I guess if I had to do over my path, I would do it the exact same way. I started my pet sitting business when I still had a full-time job for corporate America. I wanted to test out the waters. I mean, it sounds great on paper. It sounded great when I was reading up and learning about it. But what if I don't like it when I actually do it? So I would suggest that start slow. It worked for me. And I think it's it's the least amount of risk starting slow this way, because you get to learn about yourself. You get to learn how you want to run this business. Maybe something worked for them, but it's not going to work for you personally. So when I started in pet sitting world, I was lucky enough because I could do both my full-time job and my pet sitting job. I did my dog walks before I would go to work, after, during my lunch hour. And at some point it became busy enough where I was like, okay, this amount of money will sustain me. This work, I like this job. I am going to continue doing that. I'm not going to get burnt out or dislike it sometime. So I quit my full-time job. Of course, that was the safety net of health benefits and salary. Like I had a year, like salary that no matter what I do, if I get sick or go on vacation, I get paid. So mortgage gets paid. When you're an entrepreneur, you face uncertainty. The last thing I would suggest to do is to just drop everything and start something brand new without, it's a risk. Again, it works for some people, but for me, I don't like taking big risks. I like taking small steps towards a big goal that I set. And then I kind of keep that goal in mind and I make small steps, because then you're more solid. You move slower. The rewards are delayed, but I think it's more sustainable for the most people, unless of course you have like bank account with money that will sustain you. Then if you have things you could potentially lose, don't put all the eggs in one basket.
Gotcha. And just be consistent, right? Consistent and persistent.
Well, I think that's great advice because everybody's journey is different. And, some people aren't going to take that path. They're going to go all in and want to dedicate 100% of their time to it for us, maybe a matter of time and keep moving forward. But there's also going to be people just like you who are going to really appreciate that advice, to know, okay, it's okay for me to keep this full-time job, or it's okay for me to, create some extra hours on top of what I'm already doing to start working on this and start building something, even with the stability that I currently have. So I think that was really, really great to hear.
Yeah. And for me, the whole takeaway with that is just, if it's important enough to you to pursue it, you will find a way to make it work without giving up everything.
That's right. You will find the time.
Right. Women are great creatures of that. Olga, great job. You're awesome.
I
think we need to do some fun rapid fire questions with her. What do you think?
Yes. Uh-oh. Chloe has a question.
I do have a question.
Go for it.
How many of the fluffy pillows on the couch behind you are actually animals?
Oh.
Oh, wait, there. There's like once in a while you see two black little dots looking at you.
I couldn't see it from over here. Now I'm seeing
I
it.
could.
Yes.
I was just thinking, I want to squeeze that pup.
There it is.
So you guys need to like check her out, because every once in a while she'll do these like pet contests and she sends out these emails, and I feel like she's always got a pet or something. There's like it's so fun. It's so fun. So she is awesome and she's doing good stuff. And for our people in the Dallas Metroplex, if you need, pet sitting service, definitely check out DFW Pet Sitting Services. They're amazing. So let's do some fun questions. You want to kick it off?
Yes. Okay. This is our rapid fire portion of the podcast, which means the idea is that you answer the questions as quickly as possible. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just
Quickly
going
as
to
possible.
set that up.
All right, go for it.
I would love to know how many pets you actually have.
Oh, right now I have only one. I have 4 kids, so they take quite a bit of my time. But one pet is enough for now.
Kids,
pets, 4
pets.
kids.
I would say
So
the
5.
kids and the pets are all kind of like, the dogs act like the pet, the kids act like the
Yeah.
dogs sometimes,
Some
right?
of them have 2 legs, some of them has 4 legs. That's the only difference.
All right, this will be a fun one. Texas or California?
I love the ocean, but Texas is my heart. Texas is always in my heart. The people, if we could move the ocean sunsets
Yeah.
to Texas,
San
Yes,
Diego's
I
a
would
great
love that.
place.
San Diego is a
I
great
know.
place.
I know it's hard.
If you're going to be in California, San Diego's not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. I would love to know what your favorite travel destination is.
You know what? I used to wanted to travel when I was younger. I wanted to see the world. I think once I turned 40, I am kind of settling down to I'm good to just do a walk to the park locally. So I would say day trips in locally is enough right now. And maybe because, kids are my focus and now they're old enough where they're all playing sports. So we do the travels where it's something to do with an activity for the family. But I think if I were just kind of on my own, I'd probably find wilderness places like the mountains, the oceans, the forests, and just do like camping and fire and just things like that. Glamping, probably.
Yeah, I was
At this
gonna say
age,
it
I
sounds
would
amazing
do
as
it.
long as there's no heat and mosquitoes. We're good,
Yeah,
Olga.
yeah.
After that, no way. I've done that. We don't want that for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Olga, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, oh my gosh, there's so much. You know what? Lately, I've been kind of eating a lot of fish in the last couple of years. So
Yum.
fish tacos, probably.
Fish tacos is
Ooh,
good.
delicious.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, red or green salsa?
Green.
That was good. All right. I think that was good. All right, last question. I'm gonna do the Amazon this time. What's in your Amazon cart?
I mean, right now there's nothing, but
It's clean.
Amazon is like my thing. Like I don't leave it in the cart. I just go in and I buy
You get it?
If it cannot
She's
be
like, I'm
bought
getting it right
online,
now. I want it. I'm getting it.
all of my shopping, 99.9% is online. If it cannot be bought online, it cannot be bought.
It
You
can't be
will
bought.
not find you go into a mall or a store. I mean, time and effort and energy, still not worth it.
Olga, do you know when you're saying that this morning, I was on the phone with Amazon. They actually called me because I have a bunch of stuff in the subscribe, where they send it to you monthly. Well, somehow it ended up, one of my packages, it was supposed to be here on the 1st, ended up at the USPS, and they actually wanted me to come pick it up. And I said, no, I'm not going to pick up the Amazon package. This is why I put it in Amazon, so it will come to my door. If I'm going to pick it up, I'll go get it with my grocery order, and then I make one stop, right? So the girl had to call like the USPS and be like, she's not coming to pick it up. I'm like, y'all can deliver it or you can take it back. I'm not going to get it. End of story.
I know.
That's the point of Amazon, right?
I know, that's the point of Amazon.
Exactly.
And like the same thing with groceries. I lately started buying all my groceries online as well, and it's been
Yep.
amazing. It's awesome.
It's so fun. All right, Olga, well, you've been great today, and it's been awesome chatting with you. If our audience wants to come check out your services and see what DFW Pet Sitting is all about, where do we want to send them?
Our website, dfwpetsitting.com, or an email, info@dfwpetsitting. So yeah, you'll get all the information. We have a chat bot on the website. We have email. We have texting even. So just reach out if you have any questions at all.
All right, perfect. We'll make sure too when this goes out that we get you tagged and linked and everything where it needs to be so that you guys can get it wherever you want it to go. So this has been awesome.
It has. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It was a real pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. We do want to say to our listeners, of course, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you give us a rating both on iTunes and Facebook. We can't do this without you. And hit that subscribe button on the YouTube.
Absolutely. And we're going to leave you with one final thought. With ordinary talent and extraordinary perseverance, all things are attainable. And that is from Thomas Fowl Buxton.
That was good.
Mr. Buxton,
Great
keeping
job.
it real.
Great job, Brianna. All right. To live the extraordinary, you must start, and every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We will see you next time.